Well, the U.S. has sent a small team of troops to Nigeria. General Dagvin Anderson, in charge of the U.S. command for Africa, said yesterday the first acknowledgement of U.S. forces on the ground since Washington struck by air on Christmas Day. Reuters earlier reported that the U.S. had been conducting surveillance flights over the country from Ghana since at least late November. The top general said the U.S. team was sent after both countries agreed that more needed to be done to combat the terrorist threat in West Africa. Anderson did not provide further details about the size and scope of their mission, the Reuters report added. Defense Minister Christopher Musa confirmed that the team was working in Nigeria but did not provide further details, Reuters said. A former U.S. official said the U.S. team appeared to be heavily involved in intelligence gathering and enabling Nigerian forces to strike terrorist-affiliated groups. After deliberating extensively for more than 4 hours, the Nigerian Senate on Tuesday failed again for the third time in 2 weeks to pass the much-awaited Electoral Act Amendment Bill. The Senate had received the report of its Committee on Electoral Matters on the proposed Electoral Act Amendment Bill last week. To avoid the mistake of rushing through the documents, the Senate set up a 7-man ad hoc committee with a mandate to aggregate the opinions of lawmakers on the proposed amendment bill and further fine-tune the report of its Standing Committee on Electoral Matters. When the Senate reconvened on Tuesday, there was not a mention of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, there is a growing clamor on the need for the Senate to pass the bill, whose key provision is the electronic transmission of election results.
I mean, I've always known that the National Assembly is not ready. They're not serious about election transparency in the country. They don't want it. We remember the hassles Nigerians went through before they even passed this electoral act we're currently using now. You remember how some of the lawmakers then lied that they don't have internet in their villages, so transmission was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
We remember. So I think what they're probably going to do is they're going to rig my rule, and it's going to be like 2019 all over again. Because as at February, I think you need about a year, for it to have been signed into law. So as at February today, if you have not done anything about it, the possibility you're going to do it is very stark. Mm-hmm. And these guys, they don't care about Nigeria. See, the people that they call themselves the representative of the people are the representative of themselves. As long as they can go there, take constituency project, that's all they know about. You think they care about you and I? They're not there to represent. So when people frolic around these people and say they're representing you, I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. They're busy rubbing legs here and there. That's what they're concerned about. So I'm not surprised about what is going on there. As regards President Tinubu, see, I think for me, the interesting thing is, yes, I know we want to be bullish and excited, but let's also balance out the narrative. And all I do here in the morning is come and balance out the narrative. When President Tinubu is talking about the reform they are working on, I'm saying, what reforms? Reforms that can't bring FDI? The total FDI Nigeria made last year was about 900 and something million USD, not even in the billion range. All right? That's the total FDI. If you check the FDI rankings in Africa, probably we're not on the first 10 list. It would be a miracle if we're on the first 10 list. The government keeps saying, oh, FPI, but that's go in and go out money. That's money that can be taken out quickly at any point in time. And these are monies that you keep with parameters. That's why you see one of the reasons they say inflation is down, they've not been to reduce interest rate, because they also need those parameters to be able to keep those FPI money. You can't service your budgets. Our budget is still in dire straits. We're running 2 or 3 concurrent budget cycles. You're not even getting enough revenue. So, I mean, what are the fruits of the reforms? We're complaining about anti-venom, in some parts, hospital deplorable condition. I think about a year or two, the Minister of Health was saying he only got about 10 or 15% to service his capital budget for the healthcare sector. Mm-hmm. I mean, so what reforms are we talking about? People are still hungry and poverty. You say agricultural reforms. Where are the tractors from Belarus? Have they been shared? Are they already working? Are they helping in providing food? The one that even interested me the most, we keep talking subsidy removal and all of that. Part of the argument NNPC used to make them, oh, subsidy is one of the things that is, stopping us from giving the government revenue. Look at the NNPC books that came out the other day. Terrible. See, President Tinubu approved cancellation of 1.42 billion and $5.57 trillion in outstanding debts owed by the NNPC to the federal account as at 31st December 2024. So we keep writing off debts on the NNPC. We're not getting enough on the revenue. You say, okay, we are passing on the money to the states. We are not seeing any result as regards what we're passing on to the money of the states. We can't do a lot of the infrastructure. And we are taking heavy loans. The World Bank that is coming to praise us, we have exposure of close to $17 billion to the World Bank. You think that money is free? They will say it's in development and everything. But these are the things, the levers they use to tie you down.
He did mention it, though.
So we have that. You think the money is free? You think President Tinubu thinks the World Bank will just write off the money like he writes off NNPC loans without due process? I mean, these are the things we are talking about. So when you talk about the reform, okay, 20 billion is coming. That's not a final investment decision. The one I give to him, Bonga, yes, final investment decision, 5 billion. If you are hearing about OIBS and you are not having final investment decision, FID, it's all talk. It's just like the Maersk deal that we keep talking about. Turkey pledge, you're going to bring in 5 billion into the country. No. I say real substance. See, if you make that money in FDI, it will show. 2015, Nigeria could easily was on the top 10 investment ranking. Today is no longer the case. Look, we're saying we want to produce 3 million barrels. We can't even meet the upper quarter. We're struggling to meet the upper quarter because of insecurity. Most of this, what's it called, terminals and wells, they don't have enough investments. Most of them are moribund. So when we're talking very bullishly at the International Energy Summit, we're doing 3 million barrels and everything, it's not practical on ground.
All right. Dr. Basim.
Okay, let me start with the electoral bill, which I've repeatedly said on this program is very urgent because also of the crisis of time. Now, what the law says that the electoral bill must be in place at least about 360 days, 180 days before the commencement of the next election. And there are those who have argued that it looks like this National Assembly is playing games with Nigerians. Namely, that the time will run out, as it did instructively under President Muhammadu Buhari in the year 2019, I think, 2018, 2019, ahead of the elections that year. And the folk wisdom is that a government that came in through a particular electoral act will not want to go and tinker with it in such a way that it will affect his own fortunes. Now, the cynics are saying that this proposed, amendment to Electoral Act 2022 is talking about real-time transmission of electoral results, of election results from polling booths, from wards, beavers, technology, upgrading technology. And that if that were to be done, then, of course, the government will hold the wrong end of the stick. 2, that electoral offenders will get stricter penalties. Now, the same politicians that rigged the election